Prime Field.
Welcome to Prime Field. In the high-stakes game of the transfer portal, some teams are betting their entire season on one player. The 2025 women's college basketball season approaches with unprecedented uncertainty. Over 1,500 players have entered the transfer portal. More than 1,100 have already committed to new programs. The numbers alone tell a story of chaos, of opportunity, of risk. But 3 transfers stand above the rest. Each move carries enormous expectations. Each represents a calculated gamble by programs desperate for immediate success. The central question is simple, yet loaded with consequence. Can these high-profile transfers deliver on the immense expectations placed on them? Or will their moves become costly failures that derail their new team's championship ambitions? The portal has transformed women's college basketball into something unrecognizable from just 5 years ago. Roster stability is a relic. Player loyalty is negotiable. Championships can be built or destroyed in a single offseason. This is the story of 3 players, 3 programs, and the gambles that will define a season. South Carolina stood on the precipice of perfection. The Gamecocks reached the national championship game in 2024-25. They possessed dominant post players. They had defensive intensity. They had Dawn Staley, one of the sport's most respected coaches, but they lacked one critical element, perimeter scoring. The championship game exposed this weakness ruthlessly. South Carolina's backcourt struggled to create offense against elite defensive pressure. The title slipped away. The gap in their roster construction became painfully obvious. Enter Tania Latson. The Florida State guard averaged 25.2 points per game the previous season. She also contributed 4.6 rebounds and 4.6 assists. She led the entire nation in scoring. Her ability to create her own shot, to attack defenses relentlessly, represented everything South Carolina needed. Staley moved quickly. The recruitment was strategic, focused, and ultimately successful. Latson's arrival addresses South Carolina's most glaring deficiency. Her scoring output nearly doubles that of any returning Gamecock. On paper, the fit appears perfect. A dominant interior presence now has a legitimate perimeter threat. Defenses cannot collapse inside without consequence. But the gamble is real. Latson is a high-usage player accustomed to controlling offensive possessions. South Carolina runs a system built on ball movement and defensive identity. Can she adapt? Will chemistry issues emerge? Can one player's scoring brilliance mesh with an established team culture? The answers will determine whether South Carolina reclaims its championship throne, or whether this gamble disrupts the very foundation that made them elite. Notre Dame did not see it coming. Olivia Miles was a cornerstone, a senior guard who had weathered an ACL injury, a player projected as a high WNBA draft pick. She averaged 15.4 points, 5.6 rebounds, and 5.8 assists in 2024-25. Her playmaking defined Notre Dame's offensive identity. Then she entered the portal. Miles turned down professional opportunities. She chose one more college season, but not with Notre Dame. She committed to TCU, a program that had lost 3 stars from its Elite 8 team and faced a complete roster overhaul. The decision sent shockwaves through women's college basketball. Notre Dame's subsequent collapse illustrated the portal's destructive potential. Miles' departure triggered a cascade. Freshman Kate Koval left. Other key players followed. A program once known for stability suddenly faced a crisis of talent and continuity. Meanwhile, TCU celebrated. Coach Mark Campbell secured the second-ranked transfer in the entire portal. Miles becomes the centerpiece of a rebuilding project. Her court vision, her leadership, her experience provide a foundation that TCU desperately needed. But the risk is substantial. Can Miles elevate a supporting cast far less proven than what she left behind? Will the Big 12 competition expose TCU's depth issues? Can one elite guard compensate for the loss of multiple stars? TCU is betting everything on Miles' ability to transform a program. The Horned Frogs need her to be more than a talented player. They need her to be a savior. Ole Miss recognized an opportunity. The transfer portal was not just a tool for replacing lost talent. It was a weapon for accelerating a program's trajectory. Coach Yolette McPhee-McEwen understood this reality better than most. She pursued Cody McMahon with purpose. McMahon averaged 16.5 points and 4.7 rebounds at Ohio State. Her physicality intimidated defenders. Her improved three-point shooting at 38.6% stretched defenses. She represented a versatile forward capable of playing multiple roles. McPhee-McEwen did not stop with McMahon. She assembled an aggressive portal haul, including Latasha Lattimore and other key additions. The strategy was clear. Use the portal to challenge the SEC's established powers. Ole Miss had been a competent program. Now they aim to be a contender. McMahon's arrival symbolizes this ambition. Her skill set fits modern basketball. Her size creates matchup problems. Her shooting opens offensive possibilities. Combined with Ole Miss's other transfers, the Rebels suddenly possess the pieces to compete with South Carolina, LSU, and Tennessee. But aggressive builds carry inherent dangers. Will these transfers, many unfamiliar with each other, develop chemistry quickly enough? Can Ole Miss integrate multiple new pieces while maintaining defensive identity? Is the SEC competition too fierce for a program still establishing its culture? The answers will reveal whether Ole Miss's portal strategy represents brilliant roster construction or a cautionary tale of ambition outpacing execution. For every winner in the transfer portal, there are losers. Florida State lost to Nia Latson, the nation's leading scorer, the program's offensive engine. Her departure left a void that no committee approach could truly fill. Florida State now faces a season of uncertainty, forced to replace elite production with unproven options. Notre Dame's situation is even more dire. The loss of Olivia Miles triggered a complete roster exodus. Multiple freshmen departed. Key rotation players entered the portal. A program synonymous with stability, she suddenly faced a rebuilding challenge that could take years to resolve. UCLA experienced a similar shock. The Bruins lost an entire freshman class. Key transfers to rival USC compounded the damage. A program expected to contend for a Final Four berth now scrambles to maintain relevance. The portal's destabilizing power cannot be overstated. Programs that once relied on player development and recruiting pipelines now face constant roster turnover. Coaching staffs must recruit their own players annually, convincing them to stay while simultaneously courting transfers. Loyalty becomes transactional. Stability becomes impossible. This is the new reality of women's college basketball. The same mechanism that allows South Carolina to acquire Latson TCU to land Miles and Ole Miss to build aggressively also creates chaos for established programs. The competitive balance shifts rapidly. Conference races become unpredictable. National title contenders emerge from unexpected places. The question is not whether the portal will continue to reshape the sport. The question is whether programs can adapt fast enough to survive. Some transfers carry additional weight. Malaysia Fulwiley's move from South Carolina to LSU represents more than roster movement. It injects personal drama into an already fierce conference rivalry. South Carolina and LSU have battled for SEC supremacy for years. The competition is intense, personal, and often bitter. Games between these programs carry championship implications. Every possession matters. Every player's contribution is magnified. Fulwiley's presence at LSU adds a new dimension. She knows South Carolina's system intimately. She understands their tendencies, their strengths, their weaknesses. When the Gamecocks and Tigers meet, Fulwiley will have insider knowledge. The psychological element cannot be ignored, but Fulwiley's performance has been inconsistent. She provides depth and occasional brilliance, but she is not the difference maker that Latson or Miles represents. LSU's gamble is smaller, but the rivalry's implications make it significant. The SEC has become the portal's most active battlefield. Multiple programs are rebuilding through transfers. Tennessee, Texas A&M, and others have made significant additions. The conference race has never been more unpredictable. Traditional powers face challenges from programs aggressively using the portal to close the talent gap. This is modern women's college basketball, where rivalries are fueled not just by on-court competition, but by off-season roster warfare, where every transfer becomes a strategic move in a larger chess match, where the portal itself becomes a competitive advantage. The 2025-26 women's college basketball season will be remembered as a watershed moment, not because of a single game or championship, but because of what it represents. The transfer portal has fundamentally altered the sport's competitive landscape. Over 1,500 players entering the portal signals a permanent shift in how programs are built, how rosters are managed, and how championships are pursued. Tania Latson, Olivia Miles, and Cody McMahon will define this era. Their success or failure will be scrutinized endlessly. If Latson leads South Carolina to a championship, the gamble becomes a masterstroke. If Miles revitalizes TCU, the portal's potential for program transformation is validated. If McMahon elevates Ole Miss into SEC contention, aggressive portal strategies become the new blueprint. But if these transfers struggle, if chemistry issues emerge, if expectations overwhelm reality, then the cautionary tales will dominate the narrative. The broader implications extend beyond individual programs. Player empowerment has reached unprecedented levels. Athletes control their destinations. They can chase championships, playing time, or better coaching. The power dynamic between players and programs has shifted fundamentally. Yet this empowerment comes with instability. Team loyalty is eroding. Player development takes a back seat to immediate results. Programs must constantly recruit their own rosters while courting external talent. The traditional model of building through recruiting classes and multi-year development is dying. The cultural shift is undeniable. Women's college basketball has entered an era where roster construction is more fluid, more strategic, and more high stakes than ever before. Coaches must be recruiters, talent evaluators, and roster row managers simultaneously. Programs must balance immediate competitiveness with long-term sustainability. The transfer portal is not a temporary phenomenon. It is the new foundation of college athletics, and as the 2025-26 season unfolds, 3 players will carry the weight of this transformation. 3 programs will live or die by their gambles. 3 stories will reveal whether the portal represents opportunity or chaos. The bets have been placed. Now the season will deliver its verdict.
Prime Field